Alcoholism. The number one psychological problem in abuse is denial. The same problem in any all abusive situation. Denial allows abuser to keep doing it without having to answer for it. They just deny they have a problem with it. Denial is the number one psychological problem in any abuse. Alcoholism, child abuse, gambling, cocaine, elder abuse, spouse abuse. It's number one because they don't admit that they have a problem. The definition of denial is the refusal to accept the reality of a problem. Treatment for denial is to confront. You point out the difference between what they say and what they do. How? Examples. You say you're not an alcoholic, it's 10 o'clock in the morning and you already drank a 6-pack. Or, you say you're not a spouse abuser, but she has a restraining order against you. And the last example is that you say you're not child abuser, but protective services has your children. Remember, confrontation is different from aggression. Confrontation attacks the problem. Example, you say you're not an alcoholic, but it's 10 a.m. and you already drank 6-pack. Aggression attacks the person. Example, you are too an alcoholic, you jerk, you have to admit it. On board exam never attacks a person. Example scenario, you are dealing with a staff that has more seniority than you and find fault with everything you do. How do you handle that? What do you say? You are going to use good pronoun, I instead of you. So the answer is, I seem to be having a problem. Same with position. When you question about the phone order, you use good pronoun, I instead of you. You answer, I'm having difficult time interpreting what you want. Remember, when they are in denial, you confront. They deny, you confront. What about denial of loss and grief? You support it. The stages of grief, dabda, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial of loss and grief. Pay attention to the question. You ask yourself, is it loss or abuse? With abuse, you confront. With loss, you support. Abuse, confront, loss, support. Scenario. Guy lost one hand and wants to play piano. The guy is in denial state because he is refusing to accept reality. The answer should be, you ask him more about piano. You support him. Did you take lessons? How long are you playing piano? Dependency and codependency. Number 2 psychological problem for alcoholism. Dependency. Abuser gets significant others to do things for them or make decisions for them, or they are dependent on the others. For example, can you call in sick for me? Can you buy me this? Can you drop me off here? Dependency and codependency is the number 2 psychological problem for alcoholism. Codependency, the significant other derives positive self-esteem from making decisions for or doing things for the abuser. Take note of the positive self-esteem. Example, aren't I such a great wife for calling in sick for you? Treatment. Set limit and enforce them. Teach significant other to say no. Work on self-esteem of the codependent person to solve the issue. I'm saying no because I'm a good person, because I am saying no. It may solve the problem but may lose the relationship. Manipulation, the number 3 psychological problem for alcoholism. Abuser gets significant other to do something that is not in the best interest of significant other. The nature of act is dangerous or harmful. How is manipulation like dependency? In both situations, the abuser is getting them to do something for them. The difference is neutral versus negative. Look at what they're being asked to do. If what the significant other is being asked to do is neutral, it is dependency and codependency. Example, a 49-year-old alcoholic gets her 50-year-old husband to go to the store to buy alcohol for her. This is not dangerous because buying an alcohol at the age of 49 is legal. Although this is a dependency and codependency situation. Example number 2. Last week, your sister-in-law calls you and says, "Would you pick up little Billy from basketball practice at school so he can spend the night at your house because of the snow?" You have a 4x4 hammer, which is good for snow, and you live 3 blocks from the school and you do it. This is example of dependency and codependency because this is neutral situation, or it doesn't cause any damage or harm. If what the significant other is being asked to do is harmful, it is manipulation. For example, a 49-year-old alcoholic gets her 17-year-old daughter to go to the store and buy alcohol for her. It is manipulation because the daughter is underage and she is only 17 years old, and this is illegal, and it will cause her harm or danger. Treatment for manipulation. Set limit and enforce them. You say no. It is easier to treat because nobody likes being manipulated. No positive self-esteem issue with manipulation like there is with codependency or dependency. So to summarize, we have 1 patient with denial, 2 patients with dependent because of codependency, and 1 patient for manipulation. Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. Wernicke is encephalopathy, Korsakoff psychosis. The definition of psychosis is insanity or the loss of touch with reality. Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome is a psychosis induced by vitamin B1 or thiamine deficiency. You lose touch with reality, you go insane because you don't have vitamin B1. Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. The primary symptom is amnesia with confabulation. Amnesia is a memory loss, confabulation, memory loss, and making up stories because they forgot and they believe it. Example of Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome patient. The memory loss is what happened in the 1990s. So they make up stories of what they were doing in the 90s. Not, I got drunk last night. What happened? Treatment. For example, a patient with Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome believes that he is Obama's Secretary of Defense and he has to get up and go to cabinet meeting right now. So the treatment is, do not present reality because they won't learn it. They're never gonna learn what's true and not because of brain damage. So the treatment for Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome patient, you need to redirect the patient, rechannel it into something they can do, not telling them what they can't do. For example, the patient says, I'm going to a presidential meeting at 8 a.m. So as a nurse, you will tell, well, why don't you go take a shower, then once you're done, we go watch CNN to see what's the news of the day is in Washington, D.C. right now. Remember, presenting reality is only for people who who can learn it. Characteristics. Preventable. Prevent by taking vitamin B1, which is a coenzyme needed for metabolism of alcohol. If you don't have B1, you won't metabolize alcohol. It won't go into Krebs cycle. It won't get burned up for energy. It will accumulate and goes to the brain and ruin the brain. Second characteristic is arrestable. You can stop it from getting worse by taking vitamin B1. They don't have to stop drinking. Third characteristic is irresistible. 70% irreversible. On board exam, you must answer with majority. Antabuse or Revia. Generic name disulfiram. Aversion therapy. Aversion means it is really strong hatred for something. We want alcoholics to develop a gut hatred for alcohol. It works in theory better than in real life. Onset and duration. 2 weeks before effectiveness and 2 weeks of drug until they can drink again. Patient teaching. Avoid all forms of alcohol to avoid nausea, vomiting, and possibly death. Don't use mouthwash. Even if they swish and spit, they're still gonna get sick. No to aftershaves, even if they put it on topically because it causes nausea. No perfumes and colognes for the same reason. No to insect repellents. No any over-the-counter that ends in the words elixirs because elixirs has alcohol. No alcohol-based hand sanitizers. No uncooked icings because uncooked icings have vanilla extract. Do not pick the red wine vinaigrette.